We can.
Okay, here we go. Can everyone hear me? We're good. Welcome everyone to Ink Radio, episode 28. 9 had another emergency again this week, so we're joined by Acid Sunshine or Melissa. You've heard her commentate on Ink TV and Endgame and Long Island Splat and pretty much everywhere around the community. So how's it going?
Good. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me today.
So I just do want to point out that Melissa is the most educated guest I think we've ever had on the show. We were talking a little bit before, and she was like, yeah, I did all my research on all these topics. And then you have Kendall and Walkman coming in going like, what topics are we doing today? I mean, I'm not going to lie, I'm super similar in that way. So when Melissa's like, we have all these topics, I'm like, okay, cool.
Well, I mean, I said just before we started, I'm kind of an overachiever. So, and I'm a little anxious. So I feel like it's like, I don't know, if I'm prepared, then I feel better about things.
All right. And how's it going, Walkman and Kendall? You guys all know those two.
Yeah, I'm doing all right myself. Pretty good day at the gym today, so I was pretty happy about that, to be honest. And then just been chilling for most of my time lately. So, Kendall, how about you?
Everything's been good, man. Had a great weekend. Went to Atlantic City. Clothes smelled like smoke the whole entire time. It was disgusting. Jersey is disgusting for all you people that live in Jersey. It's disgusting from a person from New York. Also, Melissa, let you know, I used to prepare, but then everything that I said by Spoon standards was wrong.
Wait, what do you mean?
There was no point of preparing if I'm always wrong. Because Spoon is always right. Just remember that. Spoon's always right.
What are you talking
you'll
about?
Do fine.
I'm not always right.
You'll do fine as long as you realize two things. Spoon is always right, and Spoon is a god. All right?
Yeah, I played
Splatoon.
They're your words, not mine. They're your
We're good.
words, not mine. It's true. Mel did play Splatfest with me, and I played Charger. And what can you say about that experience?
I think we won, like, what, 5 of 12?
Listen,
It was like
I
a
can't
decent-
carry
for
3 people on
Splatfest?
my shoulders here, okay?
For Splatfest, I think that's pretty darn good when you're talking about, ooh, it's rough out there.
And a disclaimer: I do know how to swim. I was almost a lifeguard. I just don't like water. Thank you. I take showers daily.
Okay, wait. Before we get into the show, I need to know this. Why would you want to be a lifeguard if you hate water?
Well, see, the thing is, I grew up on Long Island, as Melissa can tell you. If you grew up in Long Island, you most likely did one of the 3 things. You were in Little League. One of them, I said. But swimming is one of them. And you know about good bagels. That's about it. All right, let's keep going.
Same if you lived in Montreal, apparently. Anyways, let's jump into it. We're going to start off with Platinum Cup. That is coming up this weekend. Endgame TV, Ghost Gaming, and STDX are all flying out to Japan right now. All those GoFundMes really paid off for everyone. So they're all going. So I just want to know your thoughts going into it. Do you think that NA and EU, I guess, have a chance against the Japanese gods, as everyone likes to call them?
I guess. I mean, they have a chance. They're not going to get completely annihilated. Will I put money that they'll win? No, but I still think they have a pretty decent shot at taking a couple games. I think it'll be pretty fun to see if Ghost Gaming and STDX get to play each other. I'm not really sure if they do or not. I don't know how the bracket goes for that, for a 4-team event. Or are they going to do like round robin or just,
Wait, it's only 4 teams?
Wait.
Yeah.
I thought there was way more.
It's Ghost Gaming, STDX versus GG Boys and Livalent Calamari.
Whoa, that's it?
Whoa.
It's whoever got invited.
Okay, I thought there were like a lot of teams that got invited. I didn't know it was just 4.
I thought at least like 8. But it's
No.
only 4. Oh.
This is what we were talking about when nobody on this, crew does any research. But...
Because I'm gonna be
No,
completely.
like it's not like that's not even like known. Is that really like even a known like fact? How many people even know that?
Okay. I do want to point out that when I saw that there were 4 teams, I thought that was like a side event to the Platinum Cup. Melissa's looking at us like, what have I come on to? I know all of this already.
No, actually, this is where I was unprepared because I figured you guys had this.
Oh, wow. Okay. You put way too
No,
much faith in us.
I did not know that.
But yeah, like in previous Platinum Cups, it would always be like the first round was a JP team versus a foreign team.
Well, that's
So
why. I always thought it was like, at least that's what I thought from the previous Platinum Cups. It was like 8 teams or 16 teams, and then you had the
what I
foreign
thought
with
also.
the JP, and now it's 4 teams because they're flying them out. But I thought they'd only be flying 2 foreign teams, and then they'd have like 8 teams, let's say, because it's a big LAN event, so I didn't know it was just them watching those 4 teams, if that made sense.
I think it's just those 4, and then, what do you call it? There's also like a side event or something like that, which is when one of the questions later.
Yeah, I saw that. Wasn't it like a draft thing where each player picks one player from another team?
I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool idea. We do have a question about it later, so I will wait and answer that person's question in the future. Because people like me calling out their names, so I'll just, I'll leave it. So, yeah, in the end, you think that they have a chance?
Yeah, I think it'll be at least entertaining matches. And then if they do play STDex and Ghost, I think that's going to be pretty cool because, like I said, for at least those Inkstorm Cup, in my opinion, Ghost Gaming completely threw that set. So I want to at least see them in a rematch.
Another question. Is Dude playing?
No, Dude is just going to make a documentary on Ghost, which is cool. Everybody should check that out. I want to see how that goes.
We'll check it out when it's done, you mean?
Yeah, when it's done.
We can't check it out right now, but how about you, Kendall?
I believe they actually all just landed, by the way, Ghost Gaming. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I saw the dude's tweet about it. Yeah.
How about you, Kendall?
I'm going with the same thing I went with for E3, which won me my those bets. Yeah, I really think it's going to be Japan again.
Okay, wait. Well, who do you think is going to win from Japan then? If we're going to go into it, is it Libalent Calamari or is it GG Boys?
I mean, from what I know, isn't it like Libalent Calamari like one of the better, like best teams, literally? Like,
yeah, I believe they won the Splat Japan League.
So I'm probably gonna go with Libalent Calamari.
Is Cross still on Libalent Calamari?
Yeah.
Okay, I like Cross.
Yeah, like
He's OG
I'm
from
pretty sure.
Splatoon 1.
This, like, I mean, not going in on anything, but it sounds like it's like like one of those like. It sounds like it's almost like an all-star game. If you get what I'm saying, it's like I feel like obviously it's bringing in like all these high-key players. Or well-known players, obviously we had a whole tournament for it, but it feels like almost like an all-star game where like who's like the really good player on the team or like the good teams that are there, but it's kind of like a high-profile type of event. Like, I don't know.
They all had qualifiers to get in. It's not just like.
I'm not saying that, but like just the way that it kind of feels, it's like it's a great way of like just showing Splat all over the world from everybody just coming together, like another like invitational. Obviously, but yeah, it just feels kind of more like an all-star game.
I mean, there is going to be an all-star game. That's what the draft pick is.
You know what? This was not my best week. This was not my best week.
I mean, that's pretty sweit.
I got you covered, Kendall. Don't worry.
Thank you.
How about you, Melissa? What do you feel? Do you think the boys from the West can take it home?
I don't think they're gonna get completely shut out, but I mean, they're going against like the top players in the world, so I think that they definitely have to put up a really good fight, and hopefully they represent us pretty well, and that's all that we can say for it, right? At least to me.
I am going to go out on a limb, and actually, I might agree with Kendall on this one this time.
Oh, I was about
For
to start
once,
rolling my eyes. Wow.
I think that Japan is going to absolutely dominate both teams. Only because I don't think STX is in the best mindset lately. especially considering both Ghost Gaming and STDX finished 3rd and 4th. They weren't the ones who made it through, so to speak. I think Ghost Gaming has a better shot than STDX at competing against the same Japanese teams to get like a good score. I think STDX. I mean, I can't like 100% confirm it, but I just think they don't feel like they're in the right mentality lately, and I think that'll play a toll on them at the LAN.
I think if we're gonna compare how they performed in Inkstorm Cup to how they're gonna perform in Platinum Cup, I think we statistically have seen that they perform better at LANs. So I'm kind of hoping that we'll see a little bit more of that from them, and that's why I'm kind of like, well, I don't know if they're gonna get completely shut out, but.
I mean, it's
I
fair.
don't know.
I'm just gonna side with Kendall this time.
I mean, according to chat, at least Gamble Umi, she knows her stuff, so I'm just gonna believe her. And since I believe it's STDX versus Ghost Gaming round 1, and I'm gonna assume on the other side of the bracket will be the 2 Japanese teams, we at least are guaranteed that a Western team will be in the grand finals. So
Yeah.
It's gonna be so
That's-
exciting.
That's huge. What time? Sorry, I know this is going to sound
it's
even worse.
extremely late
What time is this even at?
or early.
1 a.m. for us,
yeah.
Eastern Standard Time. Yeah,
That's not too bad, actually. 1 a.m. Is
It's
that on
not.
Friday or Saturday? It's Friday for us, right?
Friday for us. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're a day ahead.
Bruh.
They're 13 hours
Yeah.
ahead.
Bruh.
Yeah.
I'll
Don't.
stay
Oh,
up for
also, I do want to add one more thing as to why I think Japan's gonna dominate. Jet lag in Japan will destroy you. Like, I did the trip. The
Same.
way back was way worse, but going there for like the first 3 days is like pretty rough to adjust. You're and it's not so much like you're tired, it's that your body is just like, what is happening to my body for like a week? And then you're okay, and then you fly back, and then you're like, what is happening to my body for like a month? It is
Yep.
brutal. Jet lag there is really crazy. So
You definitely have a
underestimate
really
it.
strong point. Yeah.
okay, with that being said, draft pick is a thing that we've been discussing, but do you think this is something that we can adopt in the West as like a tournament? I know that a bunch of top teams were talking about it, where like they were interested in potentially doing like a draft tourney. Is this something that you think the West can do? What do you think are the downsides to it? Do you think that'll get backlash or anything like that?
No, we did it in Splatoon 1. It was called Yukos. It was the European Championship or something like
That's
that.
not the same. That is not the same. It wasn't
How not?
because
I mean, I'll explain exactly how it was because I participated in it. Basically, captains from each, I guess, country were chosen. I believe North America had 2 teams. One was led by Fuzzy, which I was on, and
Yeah.
I forget what the other one maybe.
well,
Pixel or something,
I was
don't
on
remember.
it. I was even on it. I was on Team Canada, man, with the boss.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah. So that's how you know how bad Canada is. Then.
Wow.
All right, yeah. So each captain, whatever, had their own people that they chose from in their own country, and then they all battled it out. It was called the European Championship or something like that, but then North America ended up winning it. so.
Because we complained. I remember that NA complained so hard about it that you're like, why aren't you incorporating North America? We want to be in it. So they added NA in, and they added like 8 regions for USA and like 1 Canadian
Nah,
team.
it was just 2 teams. I think from NA or whatever. I believe it was like Fuzzy, Tim, Resbit, Soldier, me, and like one other player. I can't remember. DTM.
Oh, DTM. I thought you said BTM. So, anyways, well, what I'm trying to say is, would it work now? Because there's all this talk about all these players being like, all these top players and stuff, and you're killing the community. I guess I want to know is like, do you think that it would get backlash from people if we held a restriction saying like you can only be part of like X number of teams, right? Because you still want it to be competitive at a highest level. So if someone were to say restrict it to like, I don't know, you have to be part of this 32 teams to participate, and if you aren't, then you're not allowed to play. Do you think that would get backlash from people?
Yeah, but who cares? Like, it would be amazing. Yo, in all honesty, everything's gonna get backlash, and like, I feel like it's gonna be something. It would be something amazing. Like, I feel like it'd be actually cool to watch, just seeing like the teams that obviously the captains that would be picked, the teams that would play through it. Like, it would be great. Like, I feel like it would be a great opportunity, and it would be really fun just to watch and see. Like, certain, like, say for instance, like a team like whoever like Fuzzy's playing on, like maybe like. I don't know, but it would be great just seeing like different types of teams, like maybe even like the people of like Prodigy playing on a team with maybe like even like Fuzzy, whatever. I feel like it'd be fun. Like I feel like it's just something fun to watch. Like I feel like come on, you can't give backlash for everything. Like
I mean, you can.
I mean, you can't.
You 100% can.
You can't take it as you can't take it as a discouragement of like doing something as like fun as that. Like, obviously, for me, I would never even come close to even being one of the people that ever picked to even be in that. Do I care? For me personally, no. But would it be fun to watch on Twitch? Yes, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, that would be so much fun. I'd host a viewing party for that. Are you kidding? Have some popcorn. Kendall, you could come over. It would be awesome.
Yeah,
No.
Awesome.
Here's
Seriously.
Oh my god. Okay, I have the best idea ever. Okay, Kendall, you're gonna be all for this. Okay, Okay, hear me out. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna brainstorm this live on Ink Radio. Okay, Gen Game Ink TV collab right here. Okay, this is what happens.
Okay.
We go to Long Island, we go to Gen Game, we use their studio, we get 4 analysts on the desk, and we do it NBA draft style.
Wow.
1 week before.
That'd be huge.
We
Are
get
you
each
actually
player
gonna come out?
on, and he like gets up and he's like, "We would like to announce the next player that we're drafting into the Splatoon draft league. My name is Fuzzy, and I am picking Toon from Tomo." And everyone's like, "Whoa!" And everyone goes crazy, dude. And then we analyze that. We analyze that idea in New York. We're like, "Yo, I can't believe what just happened. That was crazy. Oh my god." You know?
Why not? Yo, why not?
Or even better, we make it like lottery ball style where we put names into a ball, a spinny ball, and we have like someone come in and just pick out balls to draft teams.
They haven't done that since like the 70s? Come on, man.
Listen, I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing.
No, like I would be all about it if there was some type of planning for it. I feel like it'd be great. I mean, the top teams would have to, or the top players or whoever it is, they would have to buy into it. Obviously, there would have to be something behind it, but I think it would be great. It'd be fun.
I'm telling you.
That would, like, I think you just really gave out a great idea, man.
Yeah, the NBA Draft League, baby. We're doing it a week before. We're all heading to Long Island. The 4 of us right here. That's all we need is just the 4 of us right here. We'll head down. We'll just talk about the picks. Be like, "Oh, that was a terrible pick."
Spoon, you can pick us all up. You're like, we're all on your way.
That's very true.
That's true. That's true. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. We're gonna make it happen.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in, man.
Okay. Now that we got that sorted out, let's get into the next thing. Since we're on the topic of Japan, kind of.
And sports leagues.
Yeah, and sports leagues. Thank you. Thank you for the nice segue there, Walkman. Japan is collaborating with baseball. They are going to have a Japan Baseball League. Melissa, you have done some research on this, so I will let you take the stage in explaining what this is.
Oh no, now I'm going to make everything all messed up. Okay, so...
Wait, before you finish, I just want to announce that Anchovy and All the Weapons have released right now.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Well, it's super cool. I'm hearing myself, sorry, so that's like throwing me off. Okay, so it's really cool because it's kind of like this merger of actual sports and esports coming together. And Japan's national kind of baseball group, it's called the Nippon Professional Baseball, is their league for baseball. It's their like national pastime sport there. It's the biggest sport in Japan. And that's cool in and of itself because, you know, here in the US, like we play a lot of baseball too. So what they did is they teamed up with Nintendo to create a Splatoon 2 esports league. And what they're going to do is they're going to have teams representing each of the 12 Nopon professional baseball clubs, and it's set to kick off in spring 2019. So it's just like a really cool idea that basically they're like, hey, we're going to come together and we're going to take this like growing synergy within Splatoon and have our teams kind of pick their own teams to represent them within a league. And this isn't the first time they've done this with esports, which I thought was also really cool. So they did this with Konami in 2017, so a couple years ago, and that worked out really well for them.
What
it was
game
like,
do they do for Konami?
It was called, I'm gonna totally
like pachinko machines.
No, I'm gonna completely like mess up the title of it. It was Power Poro Pro League. The game was basically this Power Poro was, I think, what's the name of the game. Internationally known as Power Pros, I guess is the game.
Okay.
I had never even heard of it. I was like, okay, this is like cool. But the fact that they've done this and they kind of came together with another game developer and had something that was really successful. This article that I found said that there were 7,400 live spectators. 7,400 people went to an arena to watch this happen. And there were 1.5 million viewers online across finals and local qualifiers.
Oh my god.
That's huge. That's like
massive.
Wow.
Yeah, for a game that we've never even heard of here. So like look at Splatoon. Like we all have this huge fan base already within the West. So I'm going to watch. I mean, how many of us are going to tune in too? So beyond just like the viewers that are watching in Japan, maybe they're not a Splatoon fan, maybe they're baseball fans, and they're going to tune in because they want to see, you know, what their teams are talking about and what they're into. Or maybe they're Splatoon fans and they want to see how like a professional baseball league can kind of come in. It's just so cool. This synergy and how everything's working together is really exciting on this side of community growth, I guess is the way to put it. So I'm like so excited to see what they actually said is that they're going to have this thing called, another word that I'm going to totally butcher here, a Koshin, Koshien.
Yeah, Koshin. That's the classic Turf War tournament.
Okay. Huh. Well, I mean, they kind of allude it as something else that they that baseball has a summer Koshin. So, like, baseball in Japan does this summer event that they call a summer Koshin, and it's 8 locations throughout Japan that host tournaments to qualify local players for their final tournament. So they're going to do the same thing for Splatoon, and they're going to have these 8 regional tournaments where people can come and qualify to play in finals. So it's not necessarily like, you know, I'm sure the pro teams are going to, but it's like a regional thing where regional teams can come together and you know, become picked for these final tournaments. I think that that's so cool, and it opens up such opportunities for people who might not be pro players within their communities. Okay, I'm done.
No, that's huge. 1.2 million people.
That was great.
Massive. And I guess that's great for Japan. Like, you're seeing loads of success in Japan, like sponsorships, people flying people out, huge LAN tournaments. It's awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. One soundbite that I kind of wanted to mention that I thought was really cool is like for people who maybe aren't into baseball, but you're into football here, think of it as having like the 12 of the U.S. biggest football teams hosting their own Splatoon team. And that's kind of like the way that they relate it in the article. If we took our top 12 football teams, which is like the most watched sport within the United States, and each one has their own team, you know, what would that look like? So, yeah, it's super cool.
How about you two? Do you have any thoughts on it?
I think it's pretty cool that the baseball teams are getting involved. I hope that it's kind of like something like Overwatch League, or like you get the skins or something in the game of the teams, like where they have like baseball jerseys for these people. It's probably only going to be released in Japan if they do it. But that'd be sick for them. that if they get like the baseball jerseys that they wear in game or something, it kind of stuck with like the main abilities. If you get stuck with like a trash one, like if your team has to run cold blooded because your baseball jersey, but that'd be pretty damn hot to me.
No, yeah, that all of it sounds amazing. I mean, for me, it'd be kind of it's just kind of crazy. It's just kind of crazy just seeing how it all transpired and everything. So, just imagining them like taking it that far. So it's yeah, that's all I can say. That's it.
No, it's dope. I guess my question I do want to lead into it is that we have a lot of people who talk about this and then they go like, because everyone's saying like it. There are a lot of people on Twitter saying like, you thought Splatoon would never be esports, so eat it. Look at what's happening. And then other people are like, that's in Japan. It's not going to happen in the West. And I kind of want to get your thoughts on just this whole concept of people thinking that there will be no turnover from Japan to here, or how do you guys feel about esports for Splatoon in the West compared to what it is in Japan? Do you think we could ever get to a level like that? Do you think it's a possibility? Or do you think we're doomed to be a local scene?
Japan, that'll never happen. It'll never happen that we will get as big as them, but I mean, it's not a bad thing. You can still be pretty big, just not as big as them. And then, I mean, anything related to Splatoon and I guess esports-ish is a benefit to everybody. It might show, some people over here that, hey, they did so successfully well over there in Japan with their event. Maybe, an event here would be just as successful because every event here has been pretty successful as well. So might get people, outside of the community to look into it and try to form more events. So I think it can't hurt. People just need to stop being more negative. Like, I don't understand how you see this league and the first thing you think of is to be negative and try to bash that people think it's a good thing for the community. I mean, it is just nothing really more to say than that. Just don't need to be negative about big things.
I think
Kendall?
anything that brings more people into the community is a positive thing. That I completely agree with you, Walkie. You don't need to be negative.
How about you, Kendall? You look like you're deep in thought about this.
It's kind of one of those things. I still feel like a lot of people don't realize the amount of work that we still have to do over here in like the Western scene. Obviously, like I guess just more in like the events that we need to like show. Also, the amount of work that we as a scene, if we want people to believe that this game could be esports, it like kind of shows that it kind of is up to us to put the backing behind it and not hope for the next thing, like maybe like what they have, because obviously what's the biggest game right now in America? It's evident. You can look at it on Twitch. But I feel like it just shows that we need to try to actually show people why we want this game to grow. And if you play the game, it's kind of dumb that you play for hours on end, and then some people even play competitively, and to say that you'll never think that a game that you're playing is going to go esports. So, I mean, maybe you'll never go. Maybe we won't, as Walkie says, we'll never be as big as Japan. But why wouldn't you try to push it to its limits? So, I feel like maybe if more things are intertwined with like the Japanese scene and like we can get our things together over here, we could actually see more of a process happen. But I think it's going to just take more time. I think everybody just thinks that since it's not right here, right now, that it will never happen. Obviously Smash is a different game, but like it's probably the same people that were in their mom's basements and like, yo, Smash will never be in esports, and Evo's next week where both Smash games are going to be. So, I mean, and I definitely think that it's just going to take time over here. That's all it is. So, yeah.
I'm going to call it right now. Whoever is super negative about this stuff, you're just an idiot. Like, there's no other way to describe it. You're absolutely a moron. Because the only, like, I just want to put it into perspective, okay? You could say in Splatoon 1 that it would never be esports, and I could even be like, yeah, sure, I can totally get where you're coming from. It's been a year, almost 2 years, and there's no prize pools. We're just running tournaments for the sake of running them, like, nothing's changing. Now we have LANs consistently, like so consistently that you have to decide which ones you want to go to because you can't there's such a variety, right? They're all linked with Smash events too. There's now a weekly prize pool for tourneys that we've been community fundraising that has reached almost $400 every single week, and we get entrants of like 64 teams every single week as well. So we're seeing exceptional growth and prize pools and people more and more interested, articles about Splatoon, about esports. Anything that happens in Japan is just a benefit to us because it just sheds light on the game in general and could potentially lead to the Japanese teams coming over to NA to play. Like, all of this is positive and everything you see is just growing. So if you look at all of this and then decide, well, NA is never going to be esports like that, you're just stupid. I'm sorry. Like, if people just keep dedicating their time to this and keep growing and building the scene, it can't get less than what it is now, you know? So I think that it's a really stupid comment to just say, yeah, it's dead, because I feel like I want it to be dead. Like, facts are showing completely against what you're saying, so, I mean, you could say it all you want. It's like someone saying that they believe the earth is flat. You're wrong, but, you know, it's what it is.
Let me stop you right now. I'm just playing. Yeah, I think it's like what Kendall said, you know, people don't really see a direct benefit to them right away. And so they just kind of dismiss it and be negative. And I mean, like you said, too, there's no way the Splatoon community isn't growing. Like every month or so, we like reach a new milestone pretty much. Like SNS was the largest LAN yet. If you just look at Twitch,
I'm about to bring that up next.
From the competitive community, I want you to think about this. Maybe about a year ago, dude was the only person who ever got above 100 views consistently, and today, Kendall reaches 100 views like it's nothing. Nine can do the same. Everybody on Ghost Gaming, Fuzzy,
Fish, Milana, Fuzzy, Kiver. You there's like a list down like how many people are partnered in our scene. Like it's just so crazy.
Like sure, it's not to the level where all right, these people can make full-time jobs of it, but I mean, it's definitely on the come up.
I mean, I'm just going to bring it out there. That may not be too far off in the future. You get one investor who's like, hey, I'm interested in funding this, and it's done. You know what I mean? That's where it goes from there. So, I mean, I'm just saying, things are not that far off, okay?
Yeah, I mean, we have 109 viewers, and there's literally a patch that people can go play right now. So
2 sponsored teams, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I'm saying is that all the facts are completely against what everyone's saying. So I just kind of want these discussions to stop in a way, because I'm okay with like topics and like controversy and all this stuff, because honestly, this is what our show is about. Like, if we didn't have that, we wouldn't have a show. But this in particular is just ridiculous, because there's literally nothing to support what you're saying. Everything is against what you're saying. It's not even a debate anymore. It's just you're wrong. That's just what it is. You're just salty because you didn't get in on it, and now you regret your life choices.
That's also true. Wow. No, I was just going to say, I mean, it happens in every scene where like any game is, I guess, people aren't seeing the direct benefits themselves. Like, people are like, as I said, like, you look at like Fortnite, people are all, like, you go on YouTube, how many people will say Fortnite's dead, the game's dying? They just had like a 200K tournament like the past week ago where people would make like get like $20,000.
$500K one as well,
bro. It's wild. Like, no matter what scene it is, I feel like no matter what people are always going to be negative. That's just how it is. I didn't mean to bring Fortnite in it. I'm just saying, like, people are always going to be negative. You kind of just have to like wash them out and realize that great things are being done, and that's really it. Like, no matter how you feel about the game, no matter how you feel about like the state of like how the game is played, like, people are always going to be negative. You just have to keep going on, and that's really it. Like, you're always going to see those people on Twitter that are just like, the game's dying, but you're never going to see all the people that are just like, yo, this is like how many people have joined in this tournament, this is how many people joined in that tournament. So you just got to drown them out after a while, and that's it.
I think maybe one thing that I guess the community can maybe do a little bit better on to make it not seem as dead is just that we need to like announce more events kind of ahead of schedule or something like that, because there's nothing for a lot of these teams to even work toward if they're not in Platinum Cup. Like for the past 2 weeks, what big event are you really practicing for?
I mean, it's a matter of perspective. I just want to say that BNS every week has funded more prize pools than all of
but not everybody
combined.
Not everybody could play in BNS, is what I'm saying. So like,
and that's fine.
Not everybody's going to play in Platinum Cup.
There's your incentive, man. $400 every week. You win every single week. You can take your whole team to a LAN yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, my point is just that there needs to be more, I guess, bigger events, at least announced like a little bit earlier. Because like, just think about it, like, in what big event do we know about coming up for, I guess, August or September? Online, nothing. Like, people got to work towards something.
I mean, it just has to be announced. I know for a fact there's a bunch of stuff that's been
I know, and that's
formulated.
like it's the perception in people that like, what am I playing this game for right now?
I do want to say that if people assume that there isn't anything happening, you have 3 organizations who hear and listen to every single thing on Twitter that you guys say. If you don't think that we don't discuss every single thing you guys talk about, you're crazy. I'm sure Gen Game, Mr. Kendall over here from GSM, has probably talked about a bunch of stuff already, is maybe formulating something. Who knows? I don't actually know. Don't put anything behind that. But like, there's things that we are doing that we haven't announced yet, just because we aren't ready yet. Like we don't. Here's the thing: if we want to announce something, we need to do it right? Like, we're not just going to put it out there. Hey, we're running a tournament. Come sign up. It doesn't have any impact. The big thing about why people want these majors is because of the marketing and the hype behind it to make it feel like a big event. So if we don't do that properly, then there's no point in even running that event in the first place.
Yeah, and also just, I don't like to call out people in the chat, and what does Walkman do to promote online events? I'm literally on Ink TV. I'm on GSM, the two of the 3 tournament organizations pretty much in this scene. If you go to my Twitter, it's literally there. I don't even tweet about myself. It's literally a retweet machine for these 2 people. So that's my answer. Go.
Okay. Does anyone have any closing thoughts to this? We'll get into the next topic over here, if that's the case.
They're yelling at me about Long Island Summer Splat, which is not an online event. Long Island Summer Splat is happening. Okay. Thank you, Prodigy. Long Island Summer Splat. We will be doing Long Island Summer Splat in August.
Listen. You can't do shilling until the end of the show, Kendall. This is how this works.
No, he was yelling at me, man.
I don't care what your fam over there is telling you. It's not the time for it.
I'm sorry.
You don't see me shilling my own events on my own show, right, Kendall? Anyways, let's get into there's a big hubbubaloo on Twitter about this started with Jext, okay? And it's a good idea that he decently had was he said, like, why don't YouTube people make a tournament and get a bunch of casual people involved in the competitive scene? And this kind of blew up, and a bunch of YouTubers were like, yeah, sure, And I just kind of want to get your thoughts on it. Do you think this is a good idea? What do you think needs to be done to have this executed properly? How do you like this idea about YouTubers, Splatoon YouTubers, coming together to collaborate on a tournament?
I love it. I Kendall's gonna yell at me. I am a casual in this game, and
casual. You can't be a casual. You're not a casual. You are not a
play
casual.
casually. I play
you do
casually.
Not play casually. No,
Me too.
no.
I've mentioned this before.
See?
I play very casually.
Yeah, I play for fun. I have a good time.
You're not a casual. No, none of you.
I am a
casual.
filthy casual. I play this
No.
game
Same.
every couple
I love Turf War.
of weeks.
I love Turf War.
It's not okay. You're not a
Anyway.
casual.
I think that it's just a really great thing that people are doing because there's so many players who are not competitive players who want to get involved, but they really either they don't know how, they don't have access to it. They're not on Discord. Maybe, they've never tried it before. I mean, it's just a good introduction to kind of these communities that we've already created and that we all know. It was really difficult for me to figure out, hey, how do I get into this? Because I'm still relatively new. I haven't owned the game for a year yet. I've only been like commentating since January. So, for me, it was very strange. If I didn't have this connection to Black, I wouldn't have even kind of found how to kind of get myself into this too. So I think that having that entryway for casual players is really nice and really awesome, and I totally want to be a part of it.
You guys want to add anything to this? Or you...
I don't. I'm really confused as to what it is because they haven't really announced much.
There's not really any details. Like, this is just from Twitter, but I guess what I wanted to bring up more was, what do you think these YouTubers need to do to make it successful for the competitive scene in particular?
Well, if it's for the competitive scene in particular, they'll have to, I guess, not market it towards their own audiences specifically, because most of the YouTubers in question are kind of, casual, like Melissa said. So I think it's got to have like some type of balance where bigger teams, more competitive teams have an incentive to join, and they're not. They also have a place in joining. Like, I remember a long time ago, Nintendo ran a tourney, and some of the people, which was a big YouTube kind of. Nintendo was a big YouTuber in Splatoon 1, and I know a lot of the people on the competitive side that joined the tournament, they kind of liked it, kind of didn't, but then the casuals were like, I thought this was supposed to be a tournament for us, So you have to have a balance between, do we want competitive players in it, or do we want to just focus on, our casual fan base? And they've got to find some way to do that that's, more than just throwing money, I guess, or something like that, because that's hard as well just for a YouTuber. But there's definitely got to be an incentive both ways, for the casuals who want to play and the competitive.
Kendall?
Yeah, I agree. I think that it would be great. Obviously, I think that if any of them are going to do it and they wanted a good balance or an idea, they should at least reach out to like somebody that's done tournaments with the competitive scene. Maybe like obviously you guys, Ink TV. And I think it's great. I mean, didn't Failboat do a tournament and he had like over like 600 viewers watching his tournament? So I mean, it'd be great also just for their viewers to see, and if they can find a way to balance, as Walkie said, if they can find a way to balance between the competitive players and the casual players, it'd be huge. I mean, it could mean a lot, just especially with getting other YouTubers that get. I think I saw like 2 or 3 other YouTubers that were talking about it.
Yeah,
that would be huge.
These are big YouTubers, by the way.
It's not like huge.
You're talking like Octoboy, Failboat, Rockenberg,
PK Sparks.
like all these people. PK Sparks, yeah, like these are pretty big names.
It would be huge, and I think that like if somebody can come together, whatever org it is, obviously, if they can come together and find a way to find a good balance, or even like make a way of making 2 separate tournaments where everybody's watching in the same day. I don't know what it is, but it would equal something huge for the scene, and it would kind of compile everything together, which we've been trying to work for a long time.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to bring up a couple of things. I think it's a good idea under a couple of conditions. Like Walkman said, it has to feature the YouTube personalities as themselves, because that's what people are coming there for, to watch, right? And to play. But it has to link back to competitive in some way. Like, it can't just be a tournament that's run by YouTubers and, hey, it's a tournament run by us and it's great and that was it. It'll change nothing. It just attracts the viewers that are there. So it would have to, in some way, link them to want to join other things. So, like, they have the YouTubers, but they're like, hey, by the way, there's this whole scene that does this all the time. Here's these people. Here's this tournament. Here's Casual Fridays. Here's BNS. Here's Endgame Inkstorm Cup sometimes. If you want to go to LANs, here's this. You know what I mean? Like, it has to put it into the minds of people that there's more to just the Failboat and Octoboy that's there, and here's what it is. Like, if you're going to present it as a tournament to get people as a gateway into competitive, it does have to show off some actual competitive stuff, not just competitive play. It has to show off what not, I don't want to say we as in Ink TV, but we as in the Splatoon competitive scene is doing right now. So I think you need to find a good blend between the two. It can't just simply be like, we're going to run a tournament and it works well. Like, I don't want to like poo-poo all over the tournament, because Failboat did have a viewer tournament and I'm sure it was run great. AC helped him out, and it gave people a gateway to like have a tournament that was run on a YouTuber's channel, but it didn't link back to really any organizations. It didn't promote any gateways to that, so it was just a tournament, and that's fun. You know what I mean? That's still a casual tournament. It's like if 8 of your friends go to your house to play a Mario Tennis tournament. It's not going to become like a giant thing where you join into something. You're just going to play with 8 friends in a tournament, and that's it, you know? There has to be a link. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I think even if the YouTubers, like, their direct contact with it is just literally being the casters for the event, like, that's pretty much what most of their fan base, you know, likes them for, is when they talk. So even if it's a tournament with strictly no actual, like, Splatoon specific casters, just YouTubers, that'd be pretty fun for them,
Yeah.
I guess.
I talked about doing a couch co-op style thing maybe with casters. Like all the casters, all the YouTubers together, just talking about the matches, just dubbing it over, just having a good time, BNS style. I think it'd actually work really well, in my opinion. I think that would get the casual player base interested while also having a nice production stream, like someone like Endgame or us helping with that actual production of the stream itself. Not necessarily run on Ink TV. In my personal opinion, I think the growth to get people into the scene will be better to actually stream it on the YouTubers' channels themselves, because that's where you're going to get the most viewers to potentially get people in. So, yeah.
Agreed.
Anyone want to add anything into that, or else we're going to go into some viewer questions? Actually, we have one more thing to talk about before we go into viewer questions. Splat of Origin is happening, guys. And for those who don't know, this is a tournament that's in Australia. And if I'm not mistaken, Melissa's going to correct me if I'm wrong, it separates each region of Australia into teams. And those teams then play to compete for, obviously, first place. And this is running on August 15th?
13th.
Yeah.
11th,
13th.
13th, something.
The 11th is the qualifiers and seeding, and the 13th is the actual tournament.
Yeah, and this is awesome. It's high production value. I know Alley Cat personally, and she's great, and she helped organize a lot of the event, and all the overlays and graphics look awesome. And I want to give a shout out to that and how it's run. And I just kind of wanted to know how you guys felt about Oceanic community kind of thriving on its own in a way. They kind of have their own scene that's completely separate from the rest of the world in a way, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on it. I guess your thoughts are it's cool?
Oh, I didn't know anybody else is not responding, but I think it's cool. It's kind of like that thing I said earlier with that we did in Splatoon 1, Yuko's, like, where everybody was divided into, I guess, their own region. It's cool that Australia is doing that for themselves as well. So I know, at least for the Australian community, they're very big on, you know, like, community events. Like, they do a bunch of, like, socials, lands, and things like that. So I think this just promotes that feeling that you know, they're doing things, like, all together, and even if it's in their region, you know, they're going to just get more, maybe even more people involved, knowing that I don't know if it pairs you with, like, teams, like, for you maybe in your region or something like that, but that's always a helpful way for people to at least know who's in their area and if they can maybe get some more lands and socials, locals.
Oh, sorry. I do want to correct it. I did make a mistake. So Splat of Origin did happen last week, and that I did comment on it. Sorry, I was talking about the Oceanic League that's starting. My mistake. Splat of Origin is awesome, and that's the local one that I wanted to discuss. But the league is happening this month.
Sorry, that's my fault because I did my research and could not find anything of Splat of Origin except for this stuff. So that's where I've messed up here. See? I knew it would happen. Over-prepared and then, you know, mess it all up and...
Oh, good.
I relied on you.
I know. I let you down, Spoon. This won't be the last time, I promise.
All right, so I guess we'll go into some viewer questions over here. So let's pull up some stuff and see what is going on. We went through that with K-Bot already. I'm sorry, K-Bot. Wacko Jacko. Also, have you had a listen to the Splashdown Under podcast? So I want to say I've been wanting to listen to it. I just haven't had time. I may actually put it on right after the show and then give you my thoughts, to be completely honest, because I'm very interested. I've been listening to a lot of the Splatoon podcasts that come out just to see how they're all doing, and it's definitely something I want to follow because it's Australian, so it's probably pretty good. Do you guys know what this is?
No.
It's a Australian Splatoon podcast specifically.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. Does it focus on just their region or other regions as well?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm not sure entirely. Like I said, I haven't listened to it, but I've been hearing about it, and it's something that I want to listen to.
Mm-hmm. Nah,
Okay.
it seems cool. I think,
That's interesting.
like I said, the Australian community, I just feel very tight knit, and I think just even more talks about it is helpful. So,
KP Stellar says NA has a bad reputation of being difficult to find scrims, and worse to find pickup scrims. Sorry. Especially if you're a free agent, but a lot of servers I'm in have a very active league channels. Do you think a movement to end this league culture would be a huge benefit for NA? I'm not sure what you mean. Does he
the
mean
server
like
season,
league?
people do league battle and they don't scrim. Like people have 4 ready, I guess, but instead of scrimming, they just go and do league battle.
So instead of league culture, scrim culture.
I mean, if everyone's playing league, doesn't that mean that they'll match up at some point and play each other?
But you could just scrim instead.
I think it's more like I'm guessing the person isn't in like the most competitive server. I mean, people, I guess, just like league a little bit more than scrimming. That's kind of fine to me. If you like league, then do league. If people want to do scrims but then end up doing league somehow, then I guess that's a weird problem. But if you want a league, man, just go league.
Yeah. I don't really know if that's a huge issue. I would say, like, maybe just join other servers that focus more on scrims than just league pickups. I don't know. That's a weird situation. If no one plays league, then the game sort of dies on that level, like as a casual level of new people trying to get in. So I wouldn't discourage playing league, but
I mean, a lot of people have been complaining about, like, I guess on the NA side, about like scrims, finding scrims just in general. So I mean, it's not the easiest thing. I mean, I guess on the EU side, we always see like obviously the top team scrimming, but they're usually scrimming each other. So I guess it's harder for people on, I guess you want to say like the mid level to like find scrims and people that are willing to scrim. I guess that like what they're saying is that those people would rather league than scrim. Maybe. So that's what that's what I think when I'm thinking about like league culture. I think that's what she means about like changing league culture to like scrim culture, where people are just more open to like doing pickup scrims. People are more open to like their teams like meeting up and scheduling scrims every single week, like you know how like you do with Ludi and stuff like that. I guess. So,
yeah, I mean, I could see that.
being more involved with scrims.
I think it's both are fine in my opinion. I don't know. I don't really have like an in-depth opinion.
Yeah,
on this.
I'm just giving. Yeah.
Okay. Wacko Jacko again asks, how many times have you seen a team win a set with a DC teammate in a tournament? It may have occurred to my team in the recent Off the Hook Showdown 7 Aussie tournament. Shout out to Shockwave for running it.
I don't think there's been too many times, but there was in Inkstorm Plus. I don't know when that was. It was like last year, August, September, one or the other. Gray, who's now on Kraken Paradise, his pickup team for that tournament, I remember they won a 3v4 against Testa, a really good Japanese team. It was like Port Mackerel or something, and Port Mackerel Tower Control. and Gray's Rapid Blaster like carried that match so hard on defense. So that was the last time I remember happening like on a big stage. But I mean, I'm sure it happens occasionally, but it's always better when you see it on a big stage.
It's happened. We've seen it a bunch in BNS. It's not all the time. I would say that it doesn't really happen at the very, very high level, though. I'd say it's very rare I've ever seen that. I don't even think I've seen it at such a high level, other than the one that Walkman was talking about. And that was in Splatoon 1, wasn't it?
No, that was in Splatoon 2.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was last year, like exactly around this time, maybe a month or 11 months ago, I guess.
So, like, just like right after the game came out.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone have anything else to add on that?
Not really.
Okay. Easy Stevie at Scaly P asks, what modes are better for competitive play in your opinion? Kendall? I can't hear a word you're saying.
I'm gonna answer for Melissa. Moray Towers. That's what she's gonna tell you is the most.
No, I
competitive
don't.
mode in this whole entire game. All right, Clan Blitz, Moray Towers.
No.
All right.
No,
That's-
no.
We're
No,
just
no,
talking about
I-
modes, not maps here.
I know.
Don't
I
bring
know,
this
I know.
bias
No,
into
no.
here. I
was
don't
bringing
want this.
bias into here.
Clan Blitz is my favorite, true, but
You go ahead.
I mean, do I necessarily think it's best for competitive play? No. I think Splat Zones is probably the best for competitive play. I think, and you know, a lot of people talk about this in general, but I think it's the most balanced of what we have right now. I think this is Kendall's argument too. He and I have had a discussion about this also. I just really enjoy playing Clan Blitz for the chaos that it creates.
Yeah, I love TC. TC is my favorite.
Oh my
And
god, you're a terrible human
I know.
being, Kendall.
The thing is, I know your answer already because what you're gonna say is Rainmaker is one of the greatest modes ever. Gives us all of our exciting sets. Like, where would that set be in Inkstorm if it didn't happen?
Kendall, you know me so well. That wasn't actually going to be my answer of the most competitive mode, but that was going to be the next topic that I segued into. Oh, that kills me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the same thing. Splat Zones. I'm sorry. Like, I love TC. Don't get me wrong. I love being a part of it, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go.
Walkman, you're going to say Splat Zones?
I mean, yeah, as far as the most competitive, it probably is. Just in general, I feel like specials are balanced way more on that mode than any other. Because I feel like, especially, they're also balanced more for turf war. And Splat Zones are just kind of like a more constrained turf war. So, I think, like, the game was probably made more with those two in mind than for the others, which kind of leads to a little bit of less balance issues. But I'm completely of the same boat as Spoon, though, that I still think every tournament, I guess, should have all modes just because they're more exciting for viewers to watch.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to watch Splat Zones all day. Like, even I get bored of it sometimes. I want to see some other modes. So I like it when tournaments have all modes and you get to see some crazy stuff happen. So, yeah.
So I'm also going to agree it's Splat Zones, but I will say if we did Splat Zones and Rainmaker as the game 5, I would be. That is 100.
No, that's what I hate when it's grand finals and
Grand finals,
like,
Black Belly Rainmaker.
No, not even Black Belly Rainmaker's completely fine in this game. I don't care.
Kelp
When
Bone
there's
Rainmaker,
literally, like,
let's go.
What?
When there's literally like when there's like 2 tower controls, 2 Rainmakers and 2 Clan Blitz, and then you throw in 1 Splat Zone. Like, everybody agrees it's the most balanced mode, and why the hell is it one time in grand finals?
Was it game 5 for Ghost versus SCDX Kelp Dome Rainmaker?
Yeah, and I told you if it was freaking if it was Splat Zones, I guarantee 100% Ghost Gaming would have won that set. Rainmaker's just completely weird like half the time. So
Okay, so like I said, I think it's the most competitive mode. I think Rainmaker, like Kendall was mimicking me before I said it. It's the best to watch for viewers, man. It creates amazing sets. You would have never had the set at Inkstorm, no fear.
you mean Squidstorm?
Yeah, whatever. Inkstorm, Squidstorm, that tournament there. It you would never have these sets. They're the amazing sets that the crowd goes wild on, right? Like, they just don't happen in the same way that Rainmaker consistently does. And that's awesome. It's so good for viewers, regardless of what anyone says. Like, Rainmaker, to me, is the mode that I would show to not like a new person, like completely new. I would still show Turf War or Splat Zones because it's really easy to understand paint on the map. But to someone who's into Splatoon and then wants to get into competitive, I would show them a Rainmaker match because that is like crazy stuff happens and it's awesome. So yeah, every single tournament should run best of 5, all 4 are zones, and then the grand finals is Rainmaker on a very cheesy map.
So you don't want any integrity in the game?
No. Just all flair. Well, no, for 4 sets you have flair. Just don't get it to game 5. If you're good enough, just beat him before reaching the end.
I don't know. That's always the most disappointing thing to me is when they get to game 7 and it's like, damn, we have to freaking play this map. Like, that's the worst.
Well, that's why we initiated Walkie's pick back in Splatoon 1,
Yeah, I always try to pick a decent map for people. Like, ugh.
The cringe is real.
This is from Goodnight, 2 Firecracker 2. He says, do you think we'll be getting more range support weapons, rapid flow, explosion, blobber, or if we'll go back to range weapons that are good at killing like Splatoon 1 and chargers?
I think they're asking about is the meta going towards long range weapons or is it going to stay short?
I think he meant support weapons versus Slayer weapons.
Yeah, that's what I just said, pretty much.
Well, no, what he means is like chargers, one-shot kill. Their intention is to kill, as opposed to like support weapons like a blobber or an exploser, where they're meant to kind of rain from very far and not potentially get kills, just more assists along the way, I think is what he's trying to get at.
I don't know. I have the question in front of me.
I think that's a weird question. I'm going to be honest. I think the idea of what we think might be different in terms of the meta. We base it off of long range and short range, not based on is this a full support kit or is this a like Slayer kit. Like chargers fill a support role because they're long range. Like they provide support regardless if they get kills or not. So I'm not sure.
I think it's because kind of like in Splatoon, I guess it's like not really support for the longer range weapons. It's more like you're the backliner, and that's pretty much it comes down to like your special more than actually your main weapon, which is like every backliner in the game has Stingray for the most part. So that's pretty much, I guess, why they're all classified together. But is it like asking if we'll get more in the game or will they see more usage?
I think more usage. He's in chat right now, and he said, yeah, I got him. He's saying against Slayer long-range weapons versus support long-range weapons. He's defining long-range as 2 separate classes, and I think we all universally agree that they're all one class as long-range.
Yeah, I think just because it has to do more with the special than it does the actual weapon. Yeah. But, I actually think usage will probably go down for the more supported ones. Splatlings have kind of been on the decline. It's been charges more recently. Yeah. Rapid Pro, I also think, isn't as good as it was before, one of the ones you mentioned. I haven't seen too much high-tier Explosion gameplay. I know it's out there, but I just haven't been able to watch it. And so I can't really comment on that one. But chargers seem to be like the main long-range weapon that people are going with right now, and I think that's cool because where we started a year ago around this time, everybody was hating on it, so it's kind of cool that it's back on top.
Chargers didn't play at all, and now they're like pretty prevalent, so it's pretty dope. I can become a charger god again.
You can. I've seen it. You're
I mean-
like right there.
Oh my god, no. I was so bad in that turf war match. We're not even going to get into it. I had to switch off of it because I did so bad. So, that's all the viewer questions. Dave Andrus did have a question, and so did K-Bot, but we answered them as topics of the show. So shout outs to the questions regardless. I appreciate it. Thank you to having Melissa on the show. But before we get off, obviously we have to do the classic shill for everyone. So please, Melissa, shill your stuff. Tell us where you're at. Tell us what you want to promote.
I am here on Twitch as Acid Sunshine. I'm on Twitter as Acid Sunshine with an extra E. I stream terrible Splatoon, but I totally want to promote Long Island Summer Splat because it's going to be amazing and it's going to be so much fun and I'm going to make s'mores. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So come for the s'mores and stay for the Splatoon.
Or vice versa, whatever you prefer.
How about you, Walkman?
I guess shout outs to Endgame TV and I guess Splat Japan League, Shinobism, whoever's running the tournament this weekend on Open Rec for the Japanese side, and Endgame TV, who will be on Twitch running it at 1 a.m. Eastern, according to you guys. So shout out to that. Definitely go support STDX and Ghost Gaming as well as check out that SRB2 dude's documentary on Ghost Gaming's trip once that's done and their trip is over. Definitely check that out as well. So that's all I've got to say for this week.
And you, Kendall?
Obviously, Long Island Summer Splat. Make sure you go. If you're not going, you're missing out, and I am a part of those people that are missing out. So, make sure you go to Long Island Summer Splat. Make sure to sign up. It would be great. I'm telling you right now, the Beacon was amazing. You will not, and this is obviously going to be one of the emphasize on fun with everything that the rest of the team Prodigy and them are putting up for this event. It's going to be a lot of things that are going to be availed for this also. So please sign up. Last week for regular prices right now. Regular registration, sorry, and then we go into late registration. So make sure to sign up. Seriously, please. All right, cool. That's it.
Okay, so I'm going to promote a bunch of stuff here. First, I believe there's a server called the Spawn Pad. It's pretty dope. It helps new teams with higher level players learn the game a little bit more. So it's kind of an introduction between high level players and newer players who are entering. It's pretty dope. The second thing I want to bring up is I just found this today. Schiller at Schiller. No, it's not like shill, like I'm shilling stuff. He gave this call out thing, this quiz game for call outs for maps, and it's pretty awesome.
Wow.
You guys should go check it out. I did retweet it. You can check my Twitter for it. It's right below me, Cryptikspoon, and then you can just click. It's the first link there. So that's pretty dope. The next thing I do want to bring up is watch BNS this Thursday. It's zones this time, so for everyone who wants, the highest level of competition, go watch this one. We have record-breaking entrants every single week, and our prize pools keep becoming up to $400, which is absolutely insane. You guys are crazy for doing that, but we keep doing that. So sign up. It'll be fun. One more thing, Beyond the Ink has finally had a VOD. We aired it last week on Saturday. Guys, check that out. It's Jordan's interview series. We interviewed Dr. Prodigy. It was really, really cool, and we're going to continue that. We are going to have Lily as the next guest from Vitamin C, so you guys should check that out. And that'll be in about another week or so here. Finally, we also have some more upcoming unannounced stuff, but stay tuned. Just know you guys are saying that you guys want a big tournament. Don't worry, that is in the works, but I'm not at leisure to discuss any of it right now. Also, check out our website, inktv.media. Also, if you want to help donate to that prize pool, just go to the donation box below and you can help donate. Secondly, if you do want to help prize pools on a monthly basis, we have our Patreon, patreon.com/inktvsplat. Also, you can subscribe to us, which will directly help us with our endeavors of getting like overlays, helping us get better equipment, or, you know, just genuinely helping us in general with stuff potentially for LAN in the future. Anything that's subscribed goes to us directly, not as like profit, but just helps us with the stream and stuff. And anything on Patreon and donations go to prize pools, just so you guys know. And that's it. Does anyone have anything else they want to add before I did my long ass shill?
Put the Patreon in the description below next time, please.
Okay. Patreon.com/inktvsplat. Also, subscribe to our YouTube, guys. I just want to... Okay, hold on. I need to point this out. I've been dedicated to making our YouTube a better place, okay? It's been this desolate wasteland where we just dump shit all over it. Well, I've been making nice thumbnails. I've been putting Ink Radio on it every week. I put RSS feeds for these, even beyond the Ink as well. It's starting to become a nicer looking place. So maybe check out the YouTube VODs after this and subscribe. It's pretty nice, okay? That's it.
I agree with the chat. Put Tony highlights there.
Listen,
Blake.
that is not my problem.
I know it.
Talk to Blake about it. I'm doing everything I physically can to put YouTube as a priority for myself, okay? Anyways, that's it. Have a great night, guys, and we will see you guys later.
Can you tell me where the hope has gone?